Welcome to the Zero Fatigue Podcast, episode 2. Raymond probably doesn't know that. There's actually a first
Oh,
episode.
really?
So,
Hindi ko alam yan.
I don't know who we had first, but then it was me and Filippo and then Ashley.
Actually, yeah.
There you
Was that one last year yung you were supposed to invite me? That's parang I'm always flaking.
go. No, it's all good. It's like last year, pa, so that's like the. So, you know. I'm James DeLuna, uh, aspiring powerlifting coach. No, I'm kidding. Then we'll just have the rest introduce self introductions. So
Isn't
Filippo.
everyone like an aspiring powerlifting coach these days? Na
I'm
joke lang.
Filippo Scarlata. My team name is Avanti. Yeah.
Up and coming, up and coming.
Yeah, up and coming. Or we're established now. Shut up. Now
Up and
I'm
came.
Raymond, as usual. Raymond de Buque, repping Zest and of course DBQ powerlifting. Yeah. So the name, the name is. I'm stuck with the name, but I lived with it.
Okay, so I guess we'll just start
Okay.
with so the whole episode's gonna be like powerlifting history. So probably from I guess who started it or like from what I remember, it's like UP powerlifting specifically, or maybe something post. Actually, Raymond, go start off. Like what year or like what time frame does it started from?
Yeah, man. Sige. Yeah, for powerlifting, actually before it wasn't even powerlifting. So like in the 1970s, 1980s, stories from my dad. They started from the UP weightlifting team, and that the UP weightlifting team is where they actually held barbells, lifted heavy weights, and then eventually, when they started retiring from the sport of weightlifting, training got stale and like support was kind of waning. They're just getting bored in general. So they decided to try out a sport. So at the time, the US bases were really still thriving. So the thing is, Americans, they actually started the sport of powerlifting, right? They took the basic strength and conditioning exercises like squat, bench, and deadlift and made it into an actual sport. So in that time, there were bases in Clark, and then they actually held the very first national powerlifting meet in the Philippines. That's when the first ever powerlifter in the Philippines, well, first two, it was Tony Tagibao, one of the founders of Zest, and then Patrick Torres. That's actually Tito Eddie's brother. So he was the first ever powerlifter or strong powerlifter at the time. So Tito Patrick was the first to deadlift like 260. That was with a sketchy form and like a weightlifting belt or something. But there was a picture and it was like super curved and everything. But it was 260. And people kind of sort of forgot about that. He was like in the 74s, maybe light 74s back then. So it was a really strong deadlifter. Some anecdotes about the less known Mr. Torres. He was actually a proponent of, he was the craziest guy in the gym. He used to do max 1 RMs and good mornings and stuff. So that's when he slipped some discs back then. And anyway, less about it's just a nice story to tell about Tito Patrick. That's what he called. They called him the Mad Dog. So he was one of the two first power lifters. And then we have Tito Tony. Tony Tagiba was actually the strongest pound for pound. Bar Wilkes, because we didn't really compute Wilkes back then. It was like uh, lift to body weight ratio, like 2 times body weight, 3 times body weight, mga lifts. So before he was the 53, 52 kilogram champion, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he lifted like 200 kilos at 52. That was his all-time record before. Or was it 56? I'm not really sure what the old weight classes are. Anyway, he was one of the founders of Zest. So right now, I don't really know where he is. He's not really active with the oldies like Tito Eddie is and the rest of the Zest peeps. But yeah, he was one of the prominent lifters back then. I remember seeing him in a magazine, and him and Tito Eddie competed at World Masters, I think, before. It's definitely Asians. They went all over the world as the RP team. That's what they call themselves. Yeah. So back then, it was fun because a lot of the lifters were also the organizers. So it's same as now, but what happened back then was they would organize competitions and they would also compete in those competitions. They would load on the competitions and they would pack up. And so they're the ingress, egress, everything. They would set it up all by themselves and they compete. And then there's like 20 people, 30 people in the national championships. It was all fun. It's all for the love of sport. That's what they told me, at least. Yeah, fast forward, I guess, in the mid 90s, uh, mid 80s, sorry, that's when Zest was formally founded, I think. So that's my dad, Ramon de Buque, Tito Eddie Torres, uh, Tony Tagibao, Vittorio, I think, and a couple other members, founders of Zest. I'm not really sure who the other ones are or if I remember any of them. But yeah, the very first member. So I mentioned it earlier to James, and funny enough, when the very first member of the gym was actually Coach Alan Pai. He's he joined Zest as a sub junior back in the 80s. So right now he's the coach of our junior team, and now soon to be open world women's team. Crazy Veronica Umpod, uh, Jane Erasmo, Jessame, the Powerpuff Girls. We call them that. Yeah, this undisputed champions of equipped lifting and actually formidable raw lifters as well. Anyway, fast forward to like the 90s. So when I was born, I really didn't know anything about powerlifting. I was so Zest was a home gym of my dad, is Ramon, and like I would wake up and would see people lifting in the gym, and I would just pick up random stuff at the gym and then lift. And then when I was 7 years old, I talked to my dad. I said I wanted to try it. I wanted to try I wanted to try lifting. Now, of course, my dad being my dad, it's like, okay, now you said it, wala nang bawian, so you're in it forever na. So no more escaping. So what happened was he started me on a program, just taught me how to lift. It became like my chore for the day. I would just you need to you need to train before you can play with your PlayStation One. Anyway, less about me and like Zest in general. So I just from then on, some people I remember from that era. Um, of course, Tito Eddie was there. He was at the time when I was lifting and training semi seriously. I always remembered Tito Eddie being the strongest guy in the gym because at that time my dad was almost semi retired. He was recovering from some issues, but yeah, he was just benching. So my dad was by that time was kind of a bench specialist. He didn't do three lifts anymore, but he used to hold the title for the highest total and equipped. Yeah. So back then, Tito Eddie was the strongest in the gym, and I would remember going to competitions and like seeing my dad and Tito Eddie lift. And Tito Eddie would do like 330, 340 kilos equipped back then. But yeah, that was some core memories for me. But one of the lifters that's not as well known, but very influential in the sphere, powerlifting sphere, is Noel Cacao. They called him partner. He was a 120 plus or 125 plus lifter. He's the biggest powerlifter at that time. I remember seeing him squat like or attempt 300 kilos. This was wide stance and equipped lifting as a 160 kilo guy. I remember seeing him in that was like the first 300 kilo attempt that I saw. And I wasn't able to get it, but that was the first attempt that I saw. Yeah, and so Noel Cacao was founder of like uh, or he was a very prominent member of the UP powerlifting team. If so, in memory, you would notice that most lifters or most of the prominent members of the Powerlifting Association came from UP Powerlifting or in that circle. It's like people who study in UP sort of get a what do you call this? A yearning, a yearning for something beyond work and beyond uh, the rat race of life. You know what I'm saying? So that's when extracurricular activities come into play. Ganun. So UP powerlifting. So some other notable members of the UP powerlifting was Bert Gayanes. He's an active loader in the Mindanao Dufom crew. It's actually one of the prominent coaches in powerlifting in the early 2010s. He actually coached a couple notable lifters, some lifters who were under him. I don't know if you know Chester Faitaren, the founder of PHPL. Nestor Redulla, actually. Nestor Redulla was coached by Bert Ganes for a time. So I'm not sure if 2015, 2016 or what the details were, but I remember seeing them training at the Alpha Strike gym in near UP. Ever since it's closed now, that's gym of Coach Aaron De La Cruz. So Coach A, shout out sa kanya. Yet, yeah, those mga tanders and actually can be traced to Zest because let's face it, back then there weren't any other powerlifting gyms. So parang Zest lang din ang galing halos lahat. Sino pa bang kilala natin from there? Lily Picante, the strongest woman in the Philippines for decades at this point, before even Joyce came into the picture. So she was Zest then before. So I remember details about Ninang Lily. She was someone who would train to compete abroad. She would take breaks in between competitions and then peak again just to qualify for Asian championships or world masters championships again. I think she was the first woman to compete in the world games. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she ever competed in the world games. But I think she did do at least do worlds at some point. Yeah. So yun, yun yung before ng time ko. 2000s. Hindi pa ako masyadong serious powerlifter nun eh. Parang napipilitan lang ako magbuhat. Yun, pinipilit lang ng tatay ko and everything. Not really pinipilit, pero it's sort of something I learned to ingrain in my habits, I guess. Yeah, so fast forward to 2010s. Ito na yung, I think, dito na yung mga kakilala nyo. So this was the time when I started competing. This was the first junior team or first international juniors team na pumalo sa Worlds. So this was me, 2011 pala to, si Reggie, si Clark Cruz, anak ni Tito Eddie, and then si Lucas Lorenzo. So if you know Gaspar Lorenzo, this is his cousin. Parang ito yun yung lore nila. So ito yung mga anak to ng mga Zest lifters din. So Reggie's not the son, he was pamangkin. I don't know what do you call it. Ano nga may pamangkin sa English? Anyway. His tito,
Nephew?
his tito.
Nephew,
Yeah,
yeah.
nephew. He's a nephew of a powerlifter who competed in Worlds, Tony Koika. And then Clark, the son of Tito Eddie. Lucas Lorenzo is the pamangkin nephew din ng isang Zest lifter. The strongest bencher in the Philippines before Raw. So even wala pang Raw, he was benching like 190 daw. 195, I think. So, ano ito? In the 120 kilo class, 105 kilo class. Something like that. So this was Marco Lorenzo, yung dad nila. Or tito nila. So back then, 2011, so wala pa kami mga alam. We went to Canada Worlds na yun. Tapos yun, we bagged a couple medals, pero dun ako nagising. Like, I saw how strong people were actually. So I would see people repping out 200 kilos sa bench raw, dun sa warm-up area. And I would see juniors lifting 400 kilo squats and whatever. And I remember sila Preston Turner in the USA. And actually, funny enough, in that 2011 competition, if you paid attention to any powerlifting lures before 2015, we competed with actually Jesse Norris. If you know,
Yeah.
if you know the name, yeah, Jesse Norris. We actually shared the platform with him, or rather, si Lucas actually went platform to platform with Jesse Norris in the 93s. Was it 93s or 83s? Yeah, he was the world champion back then by a huge, huge margin. Hindi ko maalala ilang buhat niya. Yeah, a couple years later, he blew up in in Raw, right? Kasi 2011, he competed, I think he competed equipped pa eh. But we were in the same platform.
Yeah, wala pa atang Raw nun. Or at least
Yeah,
first year ata yun ng Raw. Something like that.
yeah. No, first year ng powerlifting Raw, I
The
think
World
was 20
Championship.
World Classic, no? Kasi they
Yeah.
were they were denying yung Raw as a sport, I think, because IPF was in the pocket of the sponsors. So they kind of have to do equipped lang lahat. I think 2014 yung first World Classic ng Filippo.
2012. I think 2012. Around that time. So before that, everything was equipped. Pero recent lang talaga.
Pretty recent.
And wala pang IG niyan, no? I mean,
Yeah,
you,
virtually wala pang Instagram.
you
Ano pa?
didn't know how strong people were kasi wala
Yeah.
pang
Maybe Facebook.
Instagram.
Not even. Not
Or like-
even.
Ooh.
Magazine siguro, pero mga West Side, ganyan.
Yeah, no. Ano na, west side na lahat yun. Parang makikita mo na lang they're benching 700 pounds, 800 pounds, but there may mga asterisk, triple ply, double ply. So you would, and back then, you didn't actually know how strong someone was because there were different super daming federations.
Yeah.
And like nothing was standardized, and you would see world champions left and right, and like nothing was standardized. Oh, how strong are you? I hold the world record. In what federation? Tapos parang it's gonna be some ABC federation somewhere. So back then, sobrang wala talagang standard kung what is strong. Kasi may drug tested, untested, who's cheating, who's not, whatever. But yeah, I think 2012 nga, the very first World Classic. That's when powerlifting started to boom, no? So yun. That generation, so 2011 generation, I think some lifters sino lang ba nagbubuhat from 2010s. There's Nestor, been lifting in the UE, University of the East powerlifting and weightlifting team, actually. Some trivia kay Nestor, he was part of the national team ng weightlifting at some point, or
Yeah.
training team. Yeah. Powerlift roll, actually, Isaiah De Villa. He was the very first classic best lifter sa men 66. Back then, hindi pa siya napapansin kasi hindi pa big deal yung classic before. So, nag-start ng classic, I think sila Leslie Evangelista, sila pa yung nauna. I'm not sure who else organized the raw lifting back then. Pero I remember PAP having two federations. There's
Yeah.
Philippine Raw Powerlifting, PRP. And then there's PAP, Powerlifting Association of the Philippines. Yeah. So there were two federations, but the other federation is actually recognized by PAP. So yeah, that's something fun. And like the referees were from PAP also. It's just ayaw lang nilang manggulo dun sa
Raw.
ano ng PAP sa pagkaka-organize niya kasi it kind of conflicts with the NSA status of PAP if there's like two federations running simultaneously. And then eventually in 2013, 2012, I think, PRP, Filipino Powerlifting, got absorbed by PAP. Especially when, nung nag-start na yung raw competitions in the IPF. That's the biggest thing, actually. Yeah, so I think by this time, 2014, some lifters na probably hindi na nakilala ngayon. One of the strongest or more notable lifters from that time, if you remember Carlos Tan
Yeah.
and then si Gab Inverga. So Carlos Tan was the first classic lifter na deadlift specialist. He would bench 90 and then deadlift 260 at 74, maybe 80, 83, parang ganun. So he would win just from deadlifts. It's not even small. It's just his bench is just really disadvantaged. I remember him tearing his pec from benching 80 kilos though, or something stupid like that.
Damn. Nasty.
Yeah, no, I saw him with the stitch here in his chest. What happened to you? I tore my pec, bro, with 80 kilos. Damn.
Craziest tagline.
Yeah, no, but back then it was mostly
Parang-
hybrid athletes.
Parang
Mga
push-up,
stupid.
Like that.
sobrang-
Ground push-up.
But he would deadlift 260. I think his best was 270 in training. I don't know if he actually lifted it in competition. Back then, 260 was unheard of at 83s, 93s even. Parang ano na yun, crazy weight na yun for us sa Raw. Ngayon, parang ano na,
May
every
video
other
yun eh,
lifter.
yung deadlift niya, yung medyo hype na video nung, I don't know where I can find it, but alam ko
Oh,
may
really?
video yan. Yung
Yeah, ano yan?
74 to 60.
Dito na pumasok yung mga Ateneo
Sa
eh.
Eclipse ba yun? Eclipse Gym.
Probably, oh.
May basta yun.
Yung Eclipse, actually, isa pang
Yeah,
powerlifting
video
gym. Closed in what,
Nakita ko na.
2017?
I see it right now. Wait, no, it's AF.
AF. Oh, really? Baka training lift niya.
Oh yeah, this is like, I don't think it's the same person. It's like
Yeah.
powerlifting motivation Facebook page. Carlos Tan, 74 kilos, 260.
Oh, yeah, you found it?
Pero
Will we share clips dito?
this is not like the. It's not the. How do I say this? Yeah, I'll just share it
The
quickly.
OG one. Sige nga.
Yeah, it's not like the. Not the OG one. It's more of like a somewhat recent. I don't even know if this is in
Oh, yeah,
Philippines.
dude.
This one, there you go.
No, that's 2018. That's when he was trying to make a comeback sa powerlifting.
This is a solid lift though.
He actually, yeah, dude. Wow, 74.
See what the comments.
Yeah, I
It's not
remember
gonna-
his
It's not with a Filipino page too.
Yeah, dude, it's powerlifting motivation.
Philippine. This is Filipino.
Yeah. No. That's the. So before yung
Damn.
King of the Lifts, before yung mga, ano pa ba yung mga powerlifting pages. Powerlifting motivation was the shit. Yan yung, Diyan mo makikita yung mga malalakas actually. Diyan ko nakilala si Dan Green, diyan ko nakilala si Smelly, si Mark Bell. That's when I first saw him when he was benching like 220 yata in Raw. Yeah. So powerlifting motivation was the page to follow before. So 2016 na 2018 yung ganyan. Now it's just a meme page parang ganun. Now it's just King of the Lifts, you get 3 White Lights Media or 2 White Lights Podcast, whatever. But before, the only page was powerlifting motivation. Dun yung hardcore pa yung sinishare. Nandun nag-aaway pa yung weightlifters versus powerlifters. May mga videos pa na, who could squat? What's a better squat? This equip triple ply squat with,
Alam ko
1,100 pounds.
Yung powerlifting motivation chat Facebook group. Alam mo yun, diba?
Dude, member ka ba doon? remember ang
Don't
tao
search
nun
don't search my name there.
Oh no.
Makakita ka ng mga mga OG
Wala na.
rage bait na shit post for back in the day.
Wala na eh.
Don't
Wala.
search Ryan Trelos in powerlifting motivation.
Yun ba yung sinasabi niya, 17-year-old?
Yeah, parang 14 years old, 15 years old.
Oh.
Tapos,
Is
people
it
would
rage bait?
literally believe him and like argue with him sa chat. Medyo
Yung mga rage
the
baiters.
best.
Yung
best
best
times.
era nila Ryan sa kanila, What's his name?
Mga-
Si
Si Maki
Fritz,
sa junior
silang
pa nun
dalawa.
eh. Oo, sila Fritz tsaka si Brian.
Nag-rage bait sila sa mga Facebook groups. He was strong back then. Si Ryan, malakas na siya before eh. He would
Yeah.
bench like 150 at 66 or something. And pero parang he would just joke na ano siya, 14, 15-year-old, 59 kilo class or whatever bullshit ni maisip niya. Yeah, and like, everyone knows he's strong. Pero before, ewan ko, baka cultural difference lang kasi taga Cebu or something. Ganun yung humor nila sa ano, sa probinsya before. But we would cringe. Pero I think he's proven himself to be an super strong lifter na. But yeah, 2015s, ang Iran 2015s, dito na pumasok sila, Joyce actually. Joyce Rabuton, at that time, she was competing with one of my athletes, si Preetis. They were the first two women to squat 140 sa classic lifting. It's 2015 or 2014. I'm not really sure now. Pero yan, they would go head to head, but my athlete actually retired na after. Si Joyce nagtuloy-tuloy pa rin, and like with PR yearly, under Merwin pa siya before, under FNB. Hybrid athlete pa siya nun. And if you saw her, the post of Affiliate Alliance, what's his name? Coach Jason. He would quote na si Joyce was a pretty well-known CrossFitter back then. Kasi she was, I think, medalist for CrossFit back in 2015, 2016. Not really sure. But yeah, people would know her. And she was like the strongest CrossFitter at the time. So she slowly transitioned into powerlifting. And I think coach na either si Kicks or si Willard na after this. So tuloy-tuloy na
I think
siya
si
back then.
Kicks at that time. Kicks at the start.
Yeah, and then it transitioned
Yeah.
to Willard, I guess. And then the kilos na sila after. Anyway, parang siya yung first, hindi pa siya yung first na Filipina sa Worlds. Pero at that time, she was the rising star of powerlifting. Hindi pa masyadong nahihinog, kumbaga. Back then, I think the most decorated lifter was Leslie. First ever Filipino to medal at Worlds na open.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leslie Evangelista. Sa Chopin siya. Pero she would train at Zest. And I think dinadala niya yung Zest sa mga local. At siya, yung home team niya yung Chopin. Grabe, ano yun. Her record still stands right now sa
Yeah.
52.
A lot.
162.5, I think, at 52 kilo weight class.
Yung total niya actually hindi pa na...
Na-break na ata ni Hindi pa ba? Ni Jessamine?
Hindi,
Equip-
yung total ng 47, hindi niya pa na...
47.
Yeah.
Oo nga pala, yun pala yung greatest niya feat niya, 47 kilo class.
Yeah. She
So-
medaled... Parang second place pa siya sa deadlift behind Heather Connor, something like that. Or third place, hindi ko na maalala.
Hindi, third place,
2018 nata yun eh.
pwede niyang i-risk yung deadlift medal for the total bronze. Parang
Yeah.
ganun. Within her reach yung total bronze. Pero she played it safe ata for a deadlift bronze or silver. Not sure. Tama si Filippo. Basta
Around
kalaban niya
2018 or
Heather.
2019. Pero yeah, nag-medal siya ng silver ba yun? Sorry, that,
28. Baka earlier pa. Di ba
hindi
2017?
maalala. Hindi ko maalala.
Basta hindi na ako, 2018 active na uli ako nun sa powerlifting eh. I think nung time na yun, lang ako eh. Nag-aaral pa kasi ako.
But yeah,
2016
sa
siguro.
kanya yung total record na hindi pa na beat
Sa classic ah.
sa classic
Yeah.
since
Oo.
like 2018 ganyan. Well, technically si Angela, she tied it nung sa APAC pero tie lang, hindi niya na
Ay, totoo?
Oo, parang 347.5. Basta yun
No.
yung total niya, hindi pa talaga na
Di pa rin ako.
yun
Pero-
pa yung untouched.
Sa deadlift,
Since 2018. Yung deadlift sa kanya pa rin for 2 weight
Oo
classes.
nga, tama.
47,
2 weight
52.
classes nga.
Yeah, both 47 and 52.
Crazy. So, sila na lang pala ni Powerlift Rule yung merong records na from 2015, 2016. Yun ang matagal eh.
And then yung bench na 57, di ba? Yung 95. Or like
Oo nga, yung
What?
hindi na
2013.
makers,
Wala na.
the
Wala
cursed,
na.
the cursed bench record.
Damn.
Crazy records.
Di ko nga alam kung ano nangyari dun. Feeling ko kasi parang ano yun eh, Tibu yung nag-break nun. Not sure kung baka naka-hormone replacement na or something.
Okay.
Kasi I remembered her being a butch. Butch na...
Thrower daw siya, sabi ni ano. Taga-UE kasi yun eh.
Ah,
Teammate ata ni Nestor, not sure. At that time.
okay. Hindi ko na
Parang
kasi
thrower daw siya. Malaki katawan.
Basta alam ko malakas nga.
Yeah.
Hindi ko lang alam. Pero meron ding... hindi rin talaga ako sure. Pero lakas 95. So, siya na lang yung may hawak ng record.
95.
That's the record to beat. Is anyone close? Si Savi ba? Is she on track?
I don't think she's competing 57
Ay,
this
si
year.
Anya
So,
pala yung ano.
Ali.
I mean, Anya's... But Ali's 52, right?
Ali's
57.
57 siya.
57.
Yeah. Really close.
Yeah, I think she hit 92.5 in training, right?
95 in training.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we have it.
See,
Ano
I translated
kaya
it.
nangyari nung competition?
It's good beat.
Siya ba yung... Di ba yung deadlift ni Ali or squat ni Ali is like 90 something lang?
Yeah, that
Or
one's
di
a
ba
tough
wala?
one.
1:1 squat bench ratio. Siya malapit na ako dun.
Injury yata. Due to injury.
Yeah. I
2018.
Okay, sige. Wait lang, off topic na.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
2018 is like where the infamous kicks versus powerlifting troll video.
Yeah, yung video, yeah.
Yeah.
Yung
That's
Charlie
the first.
David.
That's the very first hype matchup. Kasi before, no one could touch Isaiah. Even Kicks was pumasok siya kasabay nila Joyce eh. Generation nila Joyce. I would see Kicks before na gaano siya. He would magda-deadlift siya and like, sobrang ganda ng form, conventional siya before, beltless. As he would go against Aya and like si Erwin, not sure kung kilala mo naabutan mo. He still competes now, Erwin Baronio. But yeah, before top 3, lagi silang tatlo. Because no one could come close to Aya just because his bench was 30 kilos above everyone else. So 66. And his squat was actually strong, 200 something then, or close to 200 at that time. And then deadlift also was pretty good. Nangyari. So yeah, the 2018 matchup, that's the very first time when someone got super close to Aya. That's the El Clasico ng powerlifting Philippines. The story was Kicks would always be second place or third place for like 2-3 straight years. And that year, finally, nahinog si Kicks and nakuha niya yung super strong squat niya. Would get the bench. Tapos yun. Ang ending, pull for the win sana si Kicks pero wala. Hindi niya natapos. Anyway, that was the time na ano pa. It's actually one of the better venues ng powerlifting.
Yeah, I mean,
Sa Fisher Mall.
for people who are like watching or like listening, there's this video on Facebook. So yeah, this is it.
Oh, really? We're on live?
I mean,
Nice.
And
Just
then,
like-
for the recording.
Ay, hindi. Akala ko live tayo.
yeah, just like you don't have to like go super into it, but yeah. Just for the end of it,
251.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Because I used to live with Kicks.
Was that me? Was
Oh,
that
wait.
me?
It was
Can you...
Si Charlemagne yun.
Di. Sige,
Kasi-
play mo sandali.
There's a lot of people here.
I think I was a technical controller during that time.
Oh, this.
Whoop.
Ayun.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
Uy,
that's
laki ah.
me.
Hindi malaki ah.
Oh,
Laki ah.
grabe.
Yeah, that was my biggest. I was 135 back
Bro,
then.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
He's like just celebrating at the back as soon as he like fails the lift. That's crazy.
You know, dude, because that guy he could barely attempt. He was cramping.
Yeah,
Nagka-cramp na
yeah.
nga. Oo.
He was cramping so hard. He could barely stand. And like, yeah, dude, it's
Daming aura.
classic. Yeah, this is the time when we almost got kicked out of the mall kasi we
Oh
were
shit.
overtime na. Pinatayan na kami ng aircon and stuff. This was also the same competition when I deadlifted 300.
Ooh.
It's the same meet. Ito yung mga ano namin. And this is, I think, the first competition of RAF. Or maybe the second. Teka.
Nasa Pilipinas.
It's the Philippines. Yeah. I think ito nga yun. This is first competition.
Where is this from
Yung ano
again?
lang siya.
Fisher Mall in
Fisher
QC?
Mall, yeah.
Ay, hindi
Yeah.
pala. Second.
QAB.
is-
Sa QAB.
In QAV. The
QAV.
first one was in Malabon, I think. Or is the second?
Robinson's Malabon. Baka ano na yun.
Feel ko yung first one yan.
2019 na yun eh.
Ah, okay. It's like the
Then,
after.
Pero meron ding
May isa pa.
No, yung Great Eastern pala yung first competition nila. Yung 3 platforms. Wala na nakaalala nun kasi it was so chaotic. No one could take videos.
Oh, shoot.
Anyway.
Like in
Ito
the
na
middle
yung
of the
from
mall.
modern. No, this was a function hall.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
this
Ayos.
function hall ng Fisher Mall. Back when they allowed it. Ngayon, ano na they don't allow sporting events to be held in sa venue. It was fun though. Parang it was one of the most fun competitions ever. So 2018, ito, feeling ko pumasok na dito yung mga modern day lifters eh. I think Filippo bubuhat ka na ba 2018?
Yeah,
Yeah.
doon ako nag-start din. Medyo.
Yeah.
2018.
I guess
Sino
it's
ba
like
mga notable? Mga Ateneo lifters pa to, no? And the very first guy to get coached by, as in yung legit coaching from US coaches,
Oh.
si
Aspar
Spencer.
ba? Spencer.
Spencer
RTS.
Go. Yeah, from Mike Tushir.
Yeah.
Back then, it was 1v1 with Mike Tushir. Not, wala pa siyang coaching team back then eh. It was just him. So back then, grabe, RPE 9s across the board, 3 times a week, tas parang puro squat, 3 times a week squat variation, 3 times a week bench deadlift variation. He would be at the gym for like 4 or 5 hours. So back then, super revolutionary na para sa amin yun kasi we would be training for like 2 hours max, maybe 2.5 pagka maraming kwento. And he would be in the gym for like from 5 hanggang closing, hanggang 9. He would close the gym sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, so 2018. Pero I think nag-abot sila Johan tsaka si Spencer sa Ateneo. And that's when Johan started lifting sa Zest. I'm not sure yung lore nun eh.
I think
Pero-
it's Sir Ramon back then, right?
Nagpaturo siya sa tatay ko. And that didn't work out. That didn't work out too well. Kasi he ended up getting injured yata at some point. I remember him telling me na my dad kind of told him na your genetics are not suited for powerlifting.
Oh, I've heard that before.
That's just my dad.
nasty.
That's just my dad. He would tell that to everyone. Everyone who wouldn't get super strong and super fast. And true enough, I mean, let's face it, parang yung mga bagong meta ngayon is just really stocky dudes. Tapos, small builds, di ba? It's just a meta sila. Ruswell, Taylor Atwood, like, he's not completely wrong. But at the same time, it kind of motivated. It's the sort of motivation Johan needed. Eventually, he made it into a national champion, di ba? Series. He got coached by Nori yun na yung parang start ng, I think, modern day coaching eh. Kasi, not gonna lie, I learned a lot from yung mga ginagawa ng mga tao sa Zest. Kasi they would train and I would look at what they're doing, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Kunwari, super high specificity training. I didn't know you could bench like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and not recover pa rin. That was new for me before. And dyan na sila Filippo, sila Johan, ganyan yung mga. That's when I first saw someone benching every day, every single day, when they got to the gym. Yan. Yeah, so that's when it started. For online coaching, and then you start ng online coaching. I remember, I think I was the first powerlifting na online coach ba? Na sa ano?
That's what
Sa
I've been
mga
told.
ng mga lifters. Kasi before, I was so angry kasi there were self-proclaimed powerlifting coaches. Maniningil sila ng fee 1 month. And they would give you a sheet of paper. Tapos, ayun na yung cookie cutter mo. Okay, that'll be 5,000 pesos. Parang
No way.
ganun yung rate nila. Tapos, they would leave you, ayan, bahala ka na dyan, just do the program. Parang that was the quality of online coaching before. So parang I saw that and like I was, this is a scam. Downright a scam. Kasi we would teach powerlifting at CES to our friends, parang ano lang, just for fun. And we would see people in commercial gyms running programs and they say, oh, I have an online coach. Oh, really? Who is it? Who is it? Tapos, how does he coach you from online? He doesn't.
A piece of
He
paper.
just gives you a piece of paper. That's coaching. Sabi ko, "Damn, that's bullshit right there."
Expose
So
them right
yeah,
now. I'm kidding.
hindi ko maalala yung exact coach na yun. Pero I remember back then I was like, okay, if this is the quality of coaching, I'm gonna start monetizing my stuff. Kasi this isn't fair. Kasi if someone is scamming people, if I actually charge something, then I would be technically pulling them out of the market from being scammed or something like that. Plus, it was something fun. I like teaching. So I started coaching that. And back then, I think doon na yung time na nakilala ko sila Filippo. Si Filippo was just first time ko makita si Filippo sa Zest eh. Ano ka ba? Hinila ka lang doon ni Johan? Parang ganun ba yung story na?
Ano, ako na ba magsasalita? I mean,
Yeah.
kwento ko ba? Sige.
Yeah.
Ano kasi yan? I
Story.
think it was towards the end of 2018 or start of 2019. I was getting into powerlifting, tapos nag-search ako online. Well, kasi ang initial ko sa powerlifting is mga Discord na people in Australia, US, ganyan. So just from the very start, I was already parang mulat na dun sa mga training style ng people from Australia, pero RTS pa nun before US, ganyan. So, nag-search na ako parang sa Reddit, medyo active ako sa Reddit. Actually, I wasn't searching. I saw a guy, nag-post siya ng powerlifting meet recap sa Reddit. I'm not sure if kilala pa ni De Luna to si Dogeman.
Dogeman.
Yeah, si Doge. 105 siya before. Kalaban nila Raph. Ayun, that time. And nag-post siya sa Reddit ng meet recap, and then nakalagay Philippines, parang 2018 meet ata yun. Tapos, yun kasi parang yung post niya about sa Shaco, ganyan kasi Shaco yung rinarun niyang program. Nag-run siya ng Shaco, and then he made his own version of Shaco. Anyway, nag-comment ako doon sa Reddit post niya. I was like, oh, are there any powerlifting gyms or communities in Manila, ganyan. Then na-mention niya yung Zest Power Gym. So ako naman, I was searching for Zest Power Gym sa YouTube, Reddit, Google, whatever. The only thing I could find was yung
Fusho.
video ni Ali Fusho
Fusho, yeah, there we
na
go.
Zest Power Gym, parang tour. sobrang, I mean, it was like really, really ugly and rusty and whatever. Pero, at that time, parang yun lang talaga eh. Yun lang talaga yung powerlifting gym. There was kinetics, kind of, but sa Techno Hub.
Yeah.
Nag-gym din naman kami doon before. But parang hindi pa siya ganun kasikat at that time. Or at least wala
Wala
masyadong,
pa. I
wala
think
masyadong
nung
nagbubuhat. Parang 2019 siguro yun or something. Basta yun. Meron kasi silang Elicora. Anyway, so yun, punta ako sa Zest. I think it was just after class one day. Sa Ateneo ako. I mean, we went to Cubao, ganyan. Um, I was lost. As in, naglalakad lang ako sa may near Zest at that time. Di ko mahanap yung gym kasi tago siya, whatever. Yung Google Maps was just there, tapos parang gate lang. Then I saw two people walking near Zest, si Johan tsaka si Paul Gaspar.
oh shit,
Then
yeah.
may gym bag sila. So I was like, okay, for sure these guys came from a gym. So ayun, tinanong ko sa yung Zest. Then pinasok nila ako sa Zest. Tapos na sila magbuhat nun. So parang umalis na rin sila after, I think. Tapos nagbuhat ako noon. Parang si Kuya De yung bantay pa at that time. Um, and then I remember si Kuya De, parang nagko-coach din siya at that time. Tapos mga kino-coach niya. Ano yung coaching sa Zest before was literally like a piece of paper, like spreadsheet. Literal physical spreadsheet where you write what you did. Medyo crazy pa at that time.
Di pa uso
But yeah,
yung
at that time in powerlifting, I think pre-COVID to, um, mostly the same people na si Raymond was talking about. I think Raymond at this time was in the US. Kaya hindi
Oh,
pa kami nag-abot noon. So, the only people in Zest were me, Johan, Paul Chavit, and Jeb. Yung consistent talaga.
yeah.
Silang tatlo una, and then I kinda just sumasama-sama lang ako at that time kasi after class, ganun, LRT lang, convenient to Zest. And then uh, wala masyadong nagbubuhat noon. We only had one power bar na pinag-share ng lahat. It was probably not a thing sa kanila na waiting for
Wala.
the one good bar. I think people would just use
Wala.
whatever bar. But nagkahawaan na we'd always just wait for one specific bar. So if I was squatting and someone needed to deadlift or bench, they would wait for me to squat for them to use that bar. Kaya the sessions would take really, really long before dahil naghihintayan doon.
Tsaka,
Um,
grabe din yung ego nun. Parang, ano ba yan? Sila nag-aantayin sa isang bar. We could just lift ito. With the different, there's so many good bars sa Zest. Ganyan. Tapos eventually, nung lumakas si Johan, parang everyone was kind of, I don't know. Or yung mga taong lumakas sa power bar, I don't know. Maybe they have a point.
Pangit
Power
kasi
bar
talaga yung
theory.
bar na nandun. Yung ibang ko na manipis.
Yeah, dude.
Doon ako nag-first na 170 na deadlift. Manipis siya, as in whippy kahit 170 lang. And then,
Yeah, dude.
kahit sa other bar, di ko kaya yung 170 kasi talagang ang iba nung whip niya. Anyway, and it was just 170 at that point. So, the bars were not really power bars na anymore. So, maarte dun sa Titex pa yun.
Yeah,
Nagpapalawang
Titex.
na yun. But yeah, at that time, I think the people in powerlifting, the people who were the figures siguro were still the same. You had sila Kicks, it was like Kicks' time, na siya yung medyo malakas sa 66, and then sa 74s, medyo mixed bag pa noon at that time. I think forgot his name, Abad, yung, ano first name niya?
Si Mark Abad.
Mark, yung malakas mag-bench, di ba, Mark?
Yeah.
But parang siya pa yung, I think siya yung malakas or sila.
Yeah.
Kasi medyo very, very undeveloped pa, I would say, yung
Yeah.
powerlifting na there were only a few strong people sa Raw. Sa women's side, it was completely different kasi it was mostly the same girls na we see now, pero junior pa sila noon. And then sila Anita Koika, sila Leslie. But this was already towards the end of their reign, quote unquote, sa sport. Parang paalis na rin sila noon. And then this was 2019, so the following year COVID happened, and I think
Oh, man.
yun yung the level of powerlifting sa Raw in the Philippines went from like year to like nag-skyrocket
Yeah.
talaga, as in it boomed so
For real.
hard na the
So,
totals went crazy. And I think part of it was yun nga, si Raymond was mentioning kanina, online coaching wasn't a thing at all. Si Johan siguro yung first na talagang lumakas with a coach from the US, like
yeah.
kay Noriega, and then everyone was like, oh, I
Batang
mean, I
Noriega.
was
Yeah.
at the time kasama ko sa gym, and I was like, okay, maybe I should get like a coach from the US na rin. So like, ayun, doon na nag-start na people were getting coaches abroad. This was 2019. I think before that,
Mm.
wala. Puro local coach lang.
Ano kasi, I think nung time na yun, malaking contributor yung IG. Tsaka
Yeah,
yung ability to send videos online to
ayun, yeah.
actually get coached.
IG was starting. Hindi pa masyado. I made Instagram specifically for powerlifting. Like, wala akong personal Instagram, whatever. I made it just literally for lifting. Like, fina-follow ko sila Candito, sila Russell Orhi, ganyan.
At andito.
At that time, starting pa lang. So yeah, it kind of paved the way for US influence into the Philippines. And then I'm not sure kung si Raymond ba talaga yung first na coach. I think siya yung first na nag-coach online. Pero yung first na coaching team was like Mayhem.
Okay.
Kasi ang before, I think Raymond was coaching pero walang brand. As in, well, parang one-on-one coaching online pero wala pa
Ah,
yung brand na parang DBQ powerlifting, di ba? Medyo
tama.
towards the latter parts of COVID din eh, nag-shoot pa kayo sa Zest. May
Yeah.
kalawang-kalawang ganun. May mga DP blast pa kayo doon parang college eh.
Parang
Naalala ko
tanga.
yun. So,
Pero that
um,
was fun.
but yun, I think nag-start yung
Yeah, I think
branding, quote unquote, yung sa Mayhem. And at first, I think they were just selling gym equipment. Kasi at that time, sila Johan, tsaka si Grant Teng din, ibang business, pero they both
supply.
had the advantage, I guess, of being able to communicate to Chinese
Suppliers.
manufacturers, suppliers. So, nag-COVID, and then sakto, people were building home gyms. Walang easy access sa powerlifting equipment na plates. There was the rack that was selling Rogue plates, pero sobrang mahal. And the
Yeah,
next
dude.
best thing was mga ensayo plates na medyo makapal. So they brought in mga cast iron ba tawag doon? Yeah, the iron plates. Iron Supply, Mayhem
Yeah.
Fitness pa nun, Mayhem Fitness, hindi pa Mayhem Powerlifting. Nagdadali ng plates, and then eventually, Iron Supply made the power bar. First power bar na easily accessible sa Philippines. Power bar. And these are all like from Chinese manufacturers. Feel ko parang dropshipping-ish kinda.
Yeah.
Yun, doon nag-start. Tapos,
Saka sobrang cost cut nun. Ang laki yung baba ng quality compared sa bars these
yeah,
days.
well, no offense dun sa Iron Supply power bar, pero hindi siya power bar talaga. Sobrang spinny nung bearings niya or whatnot. Pero it was stiff. It was stiff.
I remember
It was a
arguing
stiff
with
part.
Johan with bakit umiikot? Was the bushing, ganun.
Yung ikot niya pang weightlifting.
Pang weightlifting,
Pero yung
yeah.
stiffness niya pang powerlifting. So medyo weird talaga siya na.
We have an Iron Supply bar dito eh. May nag-iwan sa Golds. Some lifter from back in
Pero pa,
2019. no?
good condition pa.
It's
okay
okay.
I have one here also
Slippy.
at AF, like Paseo. Like, you guys know Joey?
Oh, Joey
Momaba?
Momaba?
Yeah, he
Oh,
left
dude.
he left his bar
Yeah.
here. Somewhere in AF.
Ayun, one of the
Supply.
83s before at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think yun, doon na nag-start. Online coaching became a thing. Sa Mayhem, it was me, Johan, Don. At that
The
time,
trio.
since tatlo kami, I think it was really big.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then the other team was just Raymond. So it was just
Yeah.
Mayhem or Raymond. And then wala na talaga iba. As in literally no other...
Si ano ba? Mad Dogs. Naalala mo yung Mad Dogs?
Kay
Hindi-
Coach Mark.
Si Mark.
Okay, si Coach Mark, I think was also starting around
Ano,
not sure if
sabay ata
2020
kami eh.
or 2021. Towards the end na rin natin ng COVID, if I'm not mistaken. Pero 2019 pa lang nagka-coach na siya.
Yeah.
Yung Mad Dogs na team. Yung
Pero team lang siya, Hindi pa
Yeah.
siya nag-advertise as
Yung
a-
medyo na
coach.
buo na was nung COVID time na rin. But
Oo nga.
growing pa lang at that time.
Si
And
Metal.
then, very, yun lang. I think you didn't have that many options. So, for us, it was good. We were like a bunch of kids who had like more or less monopoly sa coaching ng powerlifting sa Pilipinas
Actually.
na wala namang in-person coaching na mapupuntahan kasi lockdown. And then these people who had access to home gyms had money. They were willing to pay for online coaching kasi may pambili sila ng home gym. The only people who could get coaching at that time who had gym access were people with home gyms kasi nga lockdown.
Actually.
So either
And
home
they
gym
would
ka
buy.
or sa Zest ka magbuhat. Yun. So
Yung lockdown hits natin. No?
parang in a way destined for success na sobrang swerte ng timing. But yeah, this was also the time na siguro more and more US influence talaga with the lifting sa Philippines. And then you'd see, like I said earlier, the records, especially on the men's side, really
Shot.
skyrocketed talaga. As
Grabe.
in, the 74 kilo total record probably increased by like 100 kilos. Not even an exaggeration. Literally went plus 100 in a year. Na yung 2019, alala ko yung 2019, magkalaban nun sila, sino ba sila?
Sila EJ,
Chavit,
Paul
sila
Chavit,
EJ, si Wales.
Wales, si Wales,
And then ang nanalo nun
si Budol.
si Budol. Literally all of them had the same total.
Yeah, it was
Natalo lang ata ng
5,
0.5, parang ganun.
back then it was 540, 550.
Yeah, parang
2019.
550, 550, 550, 550.5. And this was 74, like, this was the top na. And then, sa 83, parang low 600s. Kay Gaspar pa yung total, ganyan.
Yeah.
So it was really different. Tapos nung COVID na sakto, we didn't really have meets. Siguro, malaki din yung jump kasi people were just like, bunker training, whatever. And then biglang, I think the first legit meet, I would say, was yung sa Zest na parang isang buong buwan yung meet dahil every Saturday lang ata pwede mag-meet na sobrang liit ng venue or
Hindi
every
ka
Sunday
siya.
was. Basta
It's
sobrang
like-
tagal ng meet na yun, parang isang buwan may meet. Ayun, dun,
Fed up na ako dun.
parang we were starting to,
Si-
doon yung parang legendary performance ni Don na parang 9 for 9, 600 total, whatever.
Yeah,
And everyone was like, damn. Fuck.
It's a 612.5 total. Hindi naman pala 100 kilos.
Something like that. Parang 600
Yeah.
something. Tapos
Ah.
kasi siya nung na-deadlift parang 600 pounds deadlift, I think.
Si
74.
Grant versus Don, di ba? Yung
Oh,
laban na yun.
si Grant.
Grant
Tsaka
versus
si Grant, tapos doon parang first meet din ni Bill. Yun
Oh,
si Bill.
Ay, doon
And
din yung
then-
first meet ni Unli Rice, di ba?
First meet din ni Only Rise na wala pang knee sleeves. Biglang nag-25 kilo jump sa squat. Not even
Sa
shipping any records. He just like literally try jumping 25. I remember, basta 25 kilos yung jumps niya. Tapos parang hindi niya pa alam
25?
yung records nun.
Or
Paano nga
15. 15 lang naman ata.
Or sa deadlift
215.
ata yun, yung parang 250 tas 275. Parang ganun eh.
Sa deadlift
Naalala ko.
yun.
Wala pa siyang knee sleeves.
Is that the meat sponsor one?
Meat Depot, yeah.
Okay, that's
I don't know if Meet Depot to or... Basta sa Zest, yeah.
October
The Meat
something.
Depot. This is the Meat Depot.
Hindi. Ano pa
Hindi
to?
pa?
Luzon. Feb 2022. Basta yun, Andy Rice, hindi pa siya masyadong... Well, 83 pa siya noon, and it was just literally his first meet. I think he wasn't really into PL as much yet. Coach niya pa noon, bodybuilding coach.
Si
So,
Filipino
wala akong may
Rock.
kilala sa kanya. Nagulat lang mga tao na bakit may tao dito na sobrang laki ng quads. Yun lang talaga yung first impression ng lahat sa kanya was like,
This dude is yoked.
may rumors na pagtingin pala sa kanya, this guy's on roids
Yeah.
for sure.
This guy is
Sobrang laki nung-
confusing.
Sobrang laki ng quads niya. And wala pang may kilala sa kanya at that time.
Yeah, dude, and he's coached by a bodybuilder, so he checks all the
Parang
boxes.
yun
Kind of.
before. Well, now we know him naman, so iba na talaga. Pero yung time na yun, magugulat ka lang talaga na this guy came out of nowhere. Ayun, and then I think the first big meet, I think that really parang skyrocket ng powerlifting sa Philippines was nung pinayagan na tayo magka-meet, and then nagkaroon
Yeah.
yung 2022 na Ronats sa
Ayala, Manila
Ayala
Bay.
Malls, Manila Bay. That was really
Yeah.
big. 2 weeks din yung comp na yun, naalala ko pa.
Yeah, 2
Sobrang laki
weeks.
ng comp. And then, yun yung talagang crazy na mga competition. Yung sa 74s, nag-bomb out si James C. Sobrang hype
dude.
nun. James C, Ryan Trelos, they both bombed out.
Bone.
And then, si Don and si Bill almost bombed out on deadlifts.
Oh yeah.
Parang they both missed their openers. And then, sa second attempt ata nag-miss si Don, and then si Bill got his. And then, on third attempt, parang nakuha ni Bill finally. Basta yun, tapos nag-fail
Who
si
ended
Don
up
sa
winning?
grip. Si Bill nanalo nun, si Bill
Ah.
nanalo. Parang dumulas yung kay Don. Pero yun yung
Yeah.
medyo crazy, one of the craziest na fights ever. Kasi parang nag-bomb out lahat, tapos nagbe-miss lahat ng tao. Tapos biglang, that was really fun.
Doon din
diba?
nahinog si ano, di ba? Doon din yung na-achieve ni Johan yung best
Yeah,
meet
tapos
total
si
niya.
Johan, dun siya nag-300
Yeah. First
deadlift at
300
83.
deadlift.
So everything was really like getting pushed for. Si Kicks din ata nag-600 total doon as a 66 first time ganyan. I remember si Kyle was a 59. I think he won. 59 pa siya
Yeah,
noon.
59.
Yeah.
That's his
Oh,
debut sa ano,
yeah,
national
oo.
stage.
First time yung
I remember him
59.
competing
Yun.
Visayas
But
and
yeah,
City.
crazy meet. And then from there, I think dire-diretso na doon
Sumabog na.
nag-start na ang dami nang nagko-compete sa PL locally, and then the quality of the competitions really skyrocketed from there. Kasi after nung comp na yun, nagkaroon ng C-Cup, which I think really paved the way for international competitions sa Philippines. Like,
Yeah, dude.
we all know they used to compete naman na yung mga Zest people, pero sobrang onti lang siguro kasi syempre magastos, whatever. Pero nung time na to na madaming lifter, may pera yung mga lifter kasi galing COVID lahat. Like I said, everyone who was powerlifting during the COVID time had some sort of money. May pambili ng equipment, ganyan. Nakakompete sa C-Cup, sobrang daming sumali. I think it started yung idea na pwede mag-compete internationally.
And I think malaking bagay na ano naging C-Cup siya kasi wala yung steep
Yeah.
qualifying
Yeah.
standards.
Madaling
Before
magka-medal
Asians
din.
lang eh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh.
Ayun.
Before you had to be a medal potential to get to even qualify for Asians, and back
Wasn't
then
the
there wasn't even Asian Classic eh. Puro Asian equipped pa lang, parang ganun.
didn't everyone like qualify on the February meet of that year, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
controversial pa yung meet na eh.
Oh,
Meron pa mga controversies yan before. Kasi C-Cup, the Singapore meet was di ba? You needed to be the gold medalist in your weight class
Yeah.
or something like that. Highest total in your weight class.
Sa atin parang September yung comp, and then kailan ba yung meet? Parang July, yung Ronats. Tapos biglang nag-post ng may qualifier a week before nung Ronats, and then people were like, "Wow, may qualifier mag-Ronats." Tapos nagalit yung mga tao, tapos dinelete yung post. Hindi na natuloy.
Yan lang.
Uh,
Yeah, no, it was rough decision. Ano yun eh.
yeah.
It's rough.
Magulo pa kasi nun eh. COVID eh.
Hindi naman talaga, we weren't even thinking about yung mga policies and stuff. Pero looking back, yeah, it's actually a good idea na meron tayong parang isang meet na lang. That's where everyone should qualify. Parang para sa akin, that made things so much more simpler. So much simpler. It's not the fairest, I guess, pero wala, yun yung, that's
But yun,
I think that's
siguro
standard.
to end that portion, like I said, the powerlifting scene was growing. The totals were getting broken left and right. Like everyone was really getting strong. But again, the coaching scene was very wala pa. As in, talagang wala pa. Yun nga, kami-kami pa lang. Tapos wala pa yung mga coaches na yung sinaw na marami na may teams, ganun. Talagang hindi pa uso yung team na coaching team. Kasi before Zest was a team but not really a coaching
It's not a
team.
coaching team.
Like they weren't marketing coaching. They'd coach each other, but it wasn't like a coaching team.
It's
So
not a
yun,
brand.
no,
Right?
hindi siya brand. So ayun,
It's a brand.
nag-start. And then I'll pass it on to James kasi time niya na to.
Yeah.
I guess yung 2023 era onwards. Ayun.
It's like Zest was a culture, you know, and that's like so let's say like 2023. That's pretty much, from my point of view, a lot of people got like super influenced from the C Cup performance. Like everyone had like the really nice reels. Like you'd see Nestor, you'd see like Raf, you see like everyone who like came from Raw Nats that time. I mean, that's where Ashley started as well. Like she did 22 Raw Nats. She went up like best 76. Like she even had like stories about like, oh, she didn't even like have like any like mindset like going into it. She just lifted and like somehow got gold. But like from I had like a small survey, asked like people like, oh, like who influenced you, stuff like that. I know a lot of it comes down to influence for sure. And I really wanted to like ask you guys earlier like, oh, how about people from like either Cebu, Tarlac, like how did the, because most of the perspective is mostly from like Metro Manila.
Some
Like
Manila
everything's from
boys.
Zest, So like I guess like around that time, like gyms like Iron Chapel, like Bugzik from like Tarlac, like
Yeah.
those were like the bigger like starting points for like guys up north. That's where like Kevin started. That's where like Kevin influenced Leo to started powerlifting, stuff like
Baguio
that.
Barbell.
Yeah,
Meron.
Baguio
Baguio
Barbell as
Barbell.
well. Yeah, for sure. Like Silla Cinder, you guys like, cause okay, back to influence. Like Cinder had this like YouTube channel or like TikTok, right?
What is he?
TikTok. TikTok.
That was like one of the biggest ones for a lot of like the younger guys here, or like not even just younger guys, like people who are like about to start out. So, and then coming back to like Ashley, she started because of
Anton,
uh
right?
Gan
No.
Kaiko, because she saw her
Kyla.
TikToks.
Really?
Si
Yeah,
Kyla
Kyla?
din maraming
Oh,
na-influence.
really?
a lot. It all started like from her TikToks and like her lifting, a lot of weight for like a woman as well back in the day. So
For a woman.
I'm gonna cut that.
Okay,
That sounds
okay.
so. Why did?
No. Keep going.
It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke between Savi, me, and Philippe.
Keep going.
Yeah, go.
I
Go.
probably said that wrong, but you know what? I was like trying to be in a good manner. Pero yun nga, like, and you guys let's see. This is also coming from a lot of like the male's perspective. Like, oh, 74 is like going up this amount of like in the 74 total, stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure this is like also where a lot of like female powerlifters like started like really really like getting into the sport, and just like there's more positivity going in.
Positivity.
Yeah, like going into like the gym
Training in
culture.
general.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so
I
like
mean,
Genkaiko paved the way, stuff like that. Even Angela, like a lot of people who are like
exactly.
influencers and like bringing it back to like influencers, and I
Yeah, that's
think
fine.
around
I mean, around that time, I think I ano lang, I want to interject. I think one of the biggest things that got women into lifting is that just a lot of women just were posting their lifting on Instagram. And because of the lockdown, like Filippo said, diba? And people would buy gym equipment. What's the most basic thing you could buy? It's just a barbell and plates. And it put a lot of barbells in people's hands, I guess, and well, women, of course. They kind of embraced yung training nila, right?
then yeah, I mean for sure like one of like the first influences has to be Joyce for sure, like being the
Yeah.
strongest at that time up till now even. So I think around that time I was just like a random random kid that Filippo coached for like a month and I went to Zest one
4 weeks.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 4 weeks, and then I was like lifting in between like at AF, and then yeah, that's like I should be quiet. That's like the first time I ever went to Zest, like around 2023
2022.
two, yeah,
Yeah.
like late the latter half. So yeah,
I
and
don't know
then
if I saw you even.
I
Hindi,
don't
wala.
think
Sila Raf
so.
ata nandun eh.
Hindi,
Yeah.
wala pa siya.
Wala ba siya?
It was
Basta, pumunta si James and nagtanong siya, oh, pwede bang gamitin yung speakers, yung aux, whatever. Then he
Oh,
just
really?
started playing his like anime playlist,
you were there.
Freaking weeb.
from My Hero Academia
I was
playlist.
like,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
that was like, it was you and Guy. You guys were there as well, and then
I
guess
only come out when there's no sun.
super late. Yeah, correct. So, and that's like just like a bring into like how everything like started growing. People like a lot of younger guys had their own groups. So like back when I was like lifting, like when I started out, we had like our own group. Then there was like more groups in like Rizal, and then there's like other guys who live like near UPTC, like the like UP and Ateneo guys. Then yeah, and then how do I say this? I guess the bigger one where everyone really started to like look into the sport and like wanted to compete was Seaball for sure. Like
Yeah.
just a few
Oh
months
yeah.
after that.
Yung
It's like-
Seaboil,
It's
yeah.
hype.
And that's-
That was the grabe inflation ng quality ng competitions. we came straight from a Zest competition like in the freaking gym, then straight into Manila Bay. PAP couldn't. I'm gonna be honest. PAP couldn't handle that. Ano pa. So that was the first biggest event of PAP of all time, and I actually organized it, and everything was new. And I think PAP wasn't used to that volume and that level of production value that everyone was kind of overwhelmed with it, the organizers. And then SIBO came in. It's even one up the event and introduced to the modern competitions we see nowadays with M Sports. This is the very first very high quality stream of the event. That's when M Sports came in.
yeah, like the fact that there was like a boom in 2017 with you guys starting out, and then after C Cup came around, and then C Bowl like came into the
It's
picture.
just like, yeah.
Everyone was like, okay. I was extra excited because it was like I think it was like one of the first meets in Makati mismo, and that's where I was like staying,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, no way
Circuit.
they were gonna do a meet at where my AF was. I was like, my motivation was like through the roof. It was insane. Then, yeah, now a lot of people joined that. Like everyone, like from Tarlac, like all the way from Rizal. Everyone like from South as well. It was crazy. And then everyone who sticked around from that meet, who like really pushed it, or had like potential, like stayed consistently.
Dude,
Cause
it's Leo.
after
Definitely
yeah,
Leo.
it was crazy. Afterwards, we had like nationals in. You guys can probably talk something about like in Rizal in
Freaking
Manila.
Rizal.
Sa Ninoy Aquino Stadium,
That's
yeah.
that's the last meet I ever organized. I
That was
freaking hated myself after that. Oh my, because I had a job and like I wasn't keeping up with, with my work just because I'm organizing this giant ass event in Ninoy Aquino Stadium. That was definitely inflated, but yeah, that's the last time nationals didn't have a qualifying total. So everybody joined. Anybody joined that meet. So this is a record.
Then, actually, I'm trying to like, kind of recall. My bad. Pero, what was the competitions? Because I know you guys handled some of the guys for like international competitions that year. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we had World Classic That's when Emboscado and Reggie went. And
Asians,
I
right?
think we
Si
also had
Adrian, yeah, si
Asians.
Adrian din naman.
Oh yeah, Adrian. Yeah, Adrian
Yeah.
Perillo. Tatlo pala sila. We had Asians.
Asians sa Malaysia.
To Malaysia, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
we were,
yeah, yeah.
we were
That
a lot.
Second
was
time
We were a
around.
lot.
dami nila nun. That was Raf, and I think Mia was also competed there.
Yeah,
If I
Mio.
remember correctly.
Yeah, that was like
Of course, that's
Dami nun. Si Mio,
dami.
ano pa, si Axel,
Savi.
si Relos, nandun.
Like when that came
Tapilok
around,
si Savi.
it's like second wind of like C Cup. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of felt like C Cup, right? Because it's just
Same
it's
place, same venue.
2 hour, yeah,
the video was
Literally
really
the
2 hour
same-
flight.
Same venue, literally the same hotel, same place
Ah.
in Malaysia. Yeah.
I hope we can have an Asians in Singapore, Malaysia again.
that'd be crazy.
Everything else is so
Mm,
expensive.
Singapore would be too expensive.
Yeah, I know. Yun din sabi sa akin.
Yeah.
Kasi it's-
Indonesia would be cool. Just saying, like Bali.
Oh, I mean, they just burned their parliament, right?
Oh,
That's
Or
Nepal,
was that
right?
Nepal? That's Nepal pala.
That's Nepal. That's Nepal.
But
Yeah,
they
like-
did burn some government buildings recently.
Yeah.
and then I guess we can like roll through 2024 because like, yeah, nationals, then 2023 like international meets, and 2024 was like, I kind of felt a little bit where equipped lifting was super big. I mean, it was big before with like, I guess that's where
Kind
like,
of find its niche, right?
yeah, it's like this like definitely like a second win to like equipped lifting, like hybrid, like hybrid champion was like bringing it out again, like
Yeah.
churning a lot of athletes, like and bringing a lot
That's
of
fun to
people.
see.
Then
Yeah, I have to agree. 2024 was an equipped year for sure because a big thing was we were holding all equipped meets across the country and everyone was competing in those equipped meets raw. And they would see like the equipped lifters. And then we have the NQT. I think that's one big thing about it. The international competitions is so hard to qualify for the classic competitions that people end up trying out equipped just to qualify for internationals. So like one good thing or one big thing that contributed to that was actually the way PAP was restructured in a way that okay, you have to there's these qualifying totals. We have classic, we have equipped, and people would see, oh, the equipped total is like 10 kilos above the raw lang. Ganyan. They would see people competing in equipped, and like, okay, if I do
Enter
want to
the novice records.
enter
Yeah.
Ah,
Mga 10 years nang nagbubuhat tapos novice record sa equip.
yeah, dude. I would.
The
I hate.
infamous-
I hate Mark Rainiel. Shout out. This guy was competing since 2019. He was
Bad
competing
dogs.
only raw, and he would break the novice record. I hate you. He would break the novice record in the 1983s, I think. That
Good
was
times.
he, just because he'd never competed in an equipped competition before.
yeah, that's like
Yeah, and daming records to break.
just because like, I guess that's just where everyone really wanted to join meets. I know a lot of people who are like, okay, they're gonna join this meet, then the next meet after that, and then the next meet after that. I was like, it's
Yeah,
insane. Pero, you know, we had
burnout
like
na ako.
crazy. And then I guess people who came through that, like, they're pretty resilient. And then more people were getting into referees. Like people wanted to like do exams as well. Especially with like
Yeah,
the like there was an insufficient like resource of them, stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know what I mean?
that's a long story, but yeah, there's like shortage of volunteers or referees.
Yeah, that was like a big time
we're
for like
getting-
advocating referees and like volunteers for sure. Then
Yeah,
we had like
For
the
sure.
infamous the tent meet. A lot
man.
of university joins. UP was there. A lot. I think that's one of the bigger. There was one after like 2025. Like, I guess that's where most of the inter school meets were really bringing representation of like everyone's colleges. So like people were just like,
Oh,
oh
really?
yeah, there's like people started like paying team fees to like bring your teams like their teams in. It was like one of like boom, like really big in terms of college community.
I
Then
have to agree. And like people before kasi they didn't even know anyone from their school. They would
exactly,
meet sa competition mismo. That's what happened with me and Don. I never knew the guy and oh, this guy's competing under UP. Oh, you're competing under UP. Yeah, we're teammates. Yeah. Something like that. Ngayon, I think I agree with James. This was the first one that people actually organized as a team and joined as a team for the competition.
so it started really big.
It's
That
fun.
was I had like a similar story. I just posted the because I was a freshie in Mapua, and I posted like their freshie GC, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a powerlifter." I had such a long text. It was so cringe. I swear, it was a bunch of freshies in one group chat, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a powerlifter, and there's gonna be like an inter-school meet." That's for Sibo, and I was like, "Oh." Nobody replied. Only one person, and that was Ali. That was for inter-school, and then we both joined. And it was really fun. Like Mapua was on the map, and then Leo's from Mapua as well. Then that's like later on the line. And then let's see. Um, I guess this is where Dew Foam was kind of withdrawing from like they were going more on like Visayas and like Mindanao meets, and they're like there was like good emphasis on like the competition that goes into it, because people like really wanted to see like, oh, who are the top dogs in like Visayas or like Mindanao as well. So that brought a lot of attention. Um, then I guess we can go. Equip meets are like always the bigger ones. It's like the comeback for like, oh, we had nationals in the first quarter of the year. Then we have national equip. So that's where a lot of like guys who really want to show up. So
Yeah, the thing is, what happened to PAP was the equip competitions became just qualifiers
yeah,
or
exactly.
like just another meet for everyone else who competed raw. And what ended up happening was the records became kind of convoluted because the people would lift raw but break equipped records. That's how crazy the totals went up. Tapos yeah, yun lang. What ended up happening was there was an equipped competition. Everyone would join. 99% of the lifters would be lifting raw pa rin. So yeah, something something that can or should somehow change. Probably is next administration of PAP. Who knows?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I guess it
Yeah.
would be 50-50. I think there's a lot of bigger guys who would like bring the numbers up, especially for equipped, not just like raw. Like hybrid would bring his team. Um,
Oh yeah.
I guess some UP guys would like who's his name? What's the name? Athlete guy Roms? Forgot his name.
Yeah,
Ethan?
Yeah, Ethan. Yeah,
Ethan.
yeah. He would like
Ethan. Sila.
those guys would be like going hard on the equip lifts. Then I guess afterwards, we brought that. This is where we're gonna start like the junior uprising for international competitions.
Oh yeah.
Since yeah, for sure. Like I
This
guess
was
2024 as well. Yeah.
James
Um.
C and like Alexi
Yeah.
and I think this is when Veron, Jane, and like Rain would finally got their break because they also didn't train that much nung pandemic and like 2024 was their year. First time nila ata mag-worlds na as juniors and actually pushing the numbers. Sino pa ba mga notable juniors nyo?
I guess we can like push it to like Asians. That's like when Asians like That's when more like juniors went to Asians. Like James C. I guess the first one would be like Uzbekistan. Not a lot came, but then a good amount of them like bagged stuff like
Not
yung
actually last year. Not much people went to
yeah,
Asians. Yeah, mostly some worlds.
Because it
mostly
was
the world's, yeah,
Uzbekistan.
a
Yeah,
lot of
Malta
things.
last
Yeah,
year and then Costa Rica this year.
Yup.
it's only rice.
Ako lang yung natatapon doon.
Kasi
Yeah.
walang
Yeah.
lahat
Mr.
kasi
Worldwide.
grabe. Mr.
But
Worldwide.
yeah,
Yun
Filipino.
nga. Tapos 2025. SBD PH Nationals. We're like
Dude, holy shit.
trying to like build up the hype to it, having a lot of like promotions, stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
I,
I didn't join, so
I was supposed to be on that thing, the interview, and I had a wedding to go to. People were
shit.
speculating, oh, why is Raymond not there? I was like, "Oh, I'm just busy, man. No, it's
Good.
fun. I mean, SIBO wasn't big enough. Let's make it bigger. Yeah, that was a ridiculous meet for me.
Like
But yeah,
SM North, right? Like I don't think I can say much about it because honestly, I had like a
dude,
bunch of FOMO. I didn't join, pero like I went on the last day like camouflage. If you guys remember that, it was funny. I don't know why.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know, I witnessed like the Mio versus Rap matchup, then
Oh,
Raymond
dude,
doing Raymond things. You know what I mean?
oh my God.
Last day,
Raymond, me versus Big Boy.
nasty.
That
Pero
was hype.
that was like one of the bigger. Um,
Dude, it's the
honestly,
biggest meet. It's way too big for me.
it is
That
the big.
was, oh my God.
That's also paved the way for the juniors to really show off, in my opinion. Because that's like,
Dude, if anything, event-wise, I'm gonna talk about event-wise. Showing the SBD Philippines the coverage and like the reach it did, the reach it had. It reached a
internationally.
lot of international lifters.
yeah,
They were one. If that isn't convincing enough to let us at least host an Asians, I know something's funky with the APF if that doesn't push through. At
We,
least, man,
I don't think it's the decision naman of APF.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I know. It's just if anything, it just shows that the Philippines or PAP is capable of holding so high quality events. At least Equinox is. I mean, or we're ready at least. Anyway, about lifters. I mean, juniors are making strides. Of course, Only Rice. I always forget is still a junior. Grabe.
yeah,
Alexi just
last year as a junior, not yeah.
Lexi's a monster. Yeah,
study.
Alexis still has next year, I think.
yeah. I still have
That
it next
crazy.
year.
And he's studying also, diba?
Yeah, we're all
Oh,
studying.
James squatted 300. Oh my God, that's something.
Ashley has 2 more years.
Ashley
Then
has.
yun nga eh.
Oh my
And
God,
then
Ashley squatted 200. Grabe.
I guess it's
Those
just
are
like a
numbers that I. Wow, what's up?
it's great. I guess it's just like a junior mindset thing about it, or like just from my perspective, is like I don't want to push any beef, but I feel like it's like a come and go right now. There's a lot. I don't want to say it, but I think it's gonna be at a point where the juniors are gonna
Oh,
outshine the open
no. Cut mo na
sooner
lang para hindi ka
sooner
makancel.
sooner than later. Just saying. But
Yeah, dude.
open lifters are always gonna be the more consistent, in my opinion, and that could go into many ways, honestly. Pero yun nga eh.
I don't know about outshine, because these junior lifters are a lot of them are open next year.
That's true.
So they're gonna be the open ones. I think it's just that and no offense to the junior lifters, right? But it's just easier to look strong or be stronger because it doesn't require as much time to be competitive in the juniors because you're also against junior lifters. Whereas Open natin is very, I would say, underdeveloped.
It is.
We don't
It,
really have people
it kind of
who
is.
we have people who have been there for a long time, pero we don't have that much na tumatagal. So we don't really get to see the very peak of the strength. So
Actually,
like,
that's fair.
and I don't want to sound pessimistic, but whenever someone does something crazy in a junior, I'm like hoping, like, or like thinking, like, is this guy gonna be here next year?
Yeah.
When this guy gets a job, is he gonna be lifting pa?
Yeah,
You
man.
know, it's really hard to,
That's a
yeah.
big thing.
But yeah,
I
let's see. Only the future.
Dude, there's
We'll
so
see in the
many
future.
lifters that just come and go. Like
Exactly.
through the years, like since 2010, like the only lifters that have stayed, there's like three of us, maybe four. Everyone else just a lot of super strong guys went in as well. I think there was a guy named Kenneth Torres. He almost deadlifted 300 before, but after he just went 1 and 2 meets and then gone, got a job. Wala na sa sport. And like I'm sure I can name so many stronger people that just kind of semi-retired or just retired completely from the competitive scene. And those who stayed just are hanging on for dear life with the boom, like Filippo mentioned. The totals, everything just shot up. Pandemic and like I think the juniors that are making strides right now, they're kind of a product of the culture built by the previous PAP lifters, especially the ones that are high profile, competitive in social media. Because as much as we hate social media, or people hate social media, it's where people see other lifters, right? Man, I love social media. Sorry, but that's where people see what lifters are capable of, and like sometimes you don't have anything and you just have lifting, and like that's where you find your thing, right? That's your thing. It's lifting. You don't have sports, you don't have games or whatever. You don't have friends. That's where you find friends in powerlifting.
I guess that's where we can like
Yeah.
kind of segue because
Yeah.
I'm pretty much we're all like caught up a bit, and I guess that's where we can like trying to bring up a bit of like a ranty session here, and I guess the thing came up not like longevity of like yeah, people are gonna find a job, people are gonna find something else better to do, and like leave the sport like completely. And I guess my point of view of it is that it's either you were super young starting out and see things differently like in a year or like in a few months and like completely leave the sports, or you're you seem like you just came into the sport and didn't feel like it's for you even though you're doing better than what you could have done. Yeah, like if you like stayed a bit for like a few more months or two and like not give into the like the pressure, those are like the two outcomes in my opinion
Oh yeah.
that happens. I like
I
yeah.
mean, the thing is, we kind of I don't know if it's the culture but powerlifting is relatively young in the Philippines. I mean, it's not young. I mean, it's been here since the 80s, but in terms of maturity and like how lifters approach lifting in the Philippines, the strength sport is relatively young in the Philippines, and I think a lot of lifters. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on them, but a lot of lifters lift just because they can. They're within arm's reach of a certain medal or a certain record. It's just that they're lifting just because they're close to a record or a medal. And the moment that they feel like that goes out of reach, they kind of lose interest in the sport. That's what I noticed sa mga lifters na Mapag-iwanan lang, they stop for a year, and then the records blow up, and they're like, I don't wanna powerlift anymore. The record's long gone, or something like that. So yeah, it's like more of a mindset thing. And I think that's also one of the things why the US just keeps on getting better and better quality athletes, is because, I mean, in terms of maturity in the training styles and like the culture in the gyms, and in general the culture as a nation. I think it's one of the things why they still keep on producing stronger and stronger athletes year after year. Whereas ours just, we stop after we get a job and we prioritize work. And I think it's also part of the culture, the work culture in the Philippines, where you have to commute, you won't have time to, or money to go to the gym after, or you don't wanna handle those responsibilities or something like that. As in the US, it's kind of normal for you to have a job and then something to do after, right? Or at least for the average working class. And then they don't have to be excellent at something. Because I think it's a Filipino thing that you have to kind of earn something from what you do for it to be a valid waste or valid use of your time. I,
Definitely.
I, I don't know. I think that's a Filipino thing, right? It's like if you're going to spend time pursuing like medals, the first thing you're gonna get asked is, "Oh, how much you won a medal? How much did you win?" Right? That's the first thing they ask you. Oh, you're coaching. You're coaching now. Oh, so it's your job. So you charge, right? You earn from this. Oh yeah, okay, that's a valid use of time. But if you just say, it's just my hobby. I live for fun. People will like, oh, you live for fun. You're wasting your time. Diba? Parang ganun yung, that's some, I think that's one of the toxic mindsets that holds us back as a nation from being excellent at the sport. Or at least that's what from my experience, that's what I think.
I could add something to that. I had this one interaction with a master one lifter who lifted in PHBL before. He was telling me like, "Oh, I would love to do a PAP meet, but just to like motivate me further, he quote unquote said like, "Oh, is there any like monetary rewards that comes with
Cash
it
prize.
to like really push him to do it? If not, he wouldn't really like tuloy." So I was like, mm, it's like you could do it if you just want to do it, and that's like all I can say about it.
I don't, I,
You
I
know,
don't know if this is. I understand where you guys are coming from, but I don't know if this is like necessarily true for a lot of people. I don't know. Because from my and I might go on like a little rant. Like I'm old. I'm not really old. Uh, Maybe I'm getting old. But I think kids these days, or like the people who get into the powerlifting community, they really, really get into it at first, not for the love of the sport or not for the love of lifting, but because they get such an instant reward, such an instant like dopamine hit, where like, oh, I'm getting into lifting at first. I'm getting this PR and that PR, and then like I'm getting these likes on Instagram, and then I won a medal in joining this collegiate meet where there were like three people, and like like they get these rewards in their head, and they're like,
Instant gratification.
so yeah, instant gratification, and we do live in a world where it's like everything revolves around like instant gratification. Like you have online gambling, you have like you can date whoever you want on your phone. You have like TikTok or like you have like everything like
Shorts.
shorts. Like everything is just things that are
It's
given
there.
to you instantly. Like you have AI where you don't know something, you just ask AI and you instantly get it. You don't even have to do research anymore, right?
That's an
And
interesting.
these are good things, but I think what's lost, and I think this is the difference between the people who I think started from my time and earlier. And then from, I guess, yung time ni James na I think more people come and go talaga, is that people are just getting into it without like realizing that this is something that's gonna be hard, something that's gonna take long, and something that shouldn't necessarily uh, feed your like need for
Your
rewards instantly.
personality.
Like
Ganun ba?
especially with the people na a lot of these kids or like junior lifters get into powerlifting at a time na sobrang nauso yung you have to PR every block, you have to you'll do a PR triple this block, next block double PR, and then the block after singles PR, and then you rinse and repeat like PR, and then
Once the
uh
PR stop coming,
like every block
wala na.
PR, and they think that the yung tingin nila is like they're gonna PR this and that. And then I have people, kids go to me for coaching. They do this and that, and then they're gonna be like, "Do you think it's a realistic goal to do this total at the end of the year?" I'm like, you don't want to say no. I never say no, like
We'll see,
outright.
right? We'll see.
I just throw the question back at them like,
How do you do that?
can you sleep 8 hours a day, track your macros every day, train consistently all the time for the entire year, and then maybe let's see if you can do this. They just have like a very jaded or weird understanding of things, or like what or how long things and how hard things are, and how long it's gonna take for you to achieve your goals, which is I think fine once hit the first they hit this first roadblock, where they get injured, and it's not even a real injury. I don't want to be rude, but it's not really a real injury. Like you hurt your back and you gotta drop 20 kilos to your squat and whatever. And
Oh
they hit this
no.
first injury, and they're like,
Tragic.
"Oh, I'm so cooked. I can't hit the PR this block anymore. I'm not gonna like." And then they just quit, right? Or
Yeah.
like they they don't PR for 2 blocks, and then they quit because they've stalled. Um, they've
It's
hit the
not worth it.
plateau. They don't even understand the duration of their whole powerlifting career does not even constitute a plateau for someone. Like I know people who haven't progressed in like 3 4 years who still keep going and then like see through
I
it and then
hate it.
like get strong. But like you see Raymond who's been dealing with injuries for like so long, and then just over time you get through it, and it's part of the sport. And I think this is why people just kind of quit. It's very annoying too, for me as a coach, kasi you just have people who are very entitled to their own progress. Na they think just
Yeah.
because they show up bare minimum, they're gonna get whatever the hell they want, and they're gonna achieve whatever the hell they want. But like you don't even see and you're talking about US lifters with like all these culture, ganyan, whatever. But the culture there is like you try so hard. You try your like you get a nutritionist, you get a coach, you do everything perfectly. And these we're talking about people who are like top 20, top 30. And I tell others here like we have our top lifters who don't even track their macros, and they're like number one in their weight class. Like how
Oh yeah.
far is the effort, diba? But yeah, that's I guess I'm getting out of I don't know, out of context now, but
Yeah.
It's the golden
just
clip.
something to
Makes sense. It's more of a cult. It's more of a
just
culture
something
thing, actually.
culture for sure.
I,
I think at the end of the day, culture naman talaga yon na I'm not gonna hate on these people for like quitting because if it's not for you, it's not for you. Um,
you can choose your battles, right?
yeah,
Mga ganun
exactly.
din.
But let's not get this thing wrong. Like let's not because I think in a way you're belittling the sport. Eh. For me, as someone who's like devoted most of my adult life into everything
Mga palang
powerlifting, it's
bata
like
pa si Felipe.
uh, people just I feel it's very insulting to me when people think they can just come and go, do whatever they want, and then get the results they want. But it's like it parang kawawa naman or nakakabastos naman dun sa mga tao na
This
they
is
really
it's
try hard.
disingenuous to say the
Exactly.
least
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the people who've dedicated like 5+ years to the craft, and like you come in, with an expectation, oh, I want to be the national champion in a year or two. And these guys, the people you're trying to beat, they've been training religiously for like 5 plus years na. Yung nandyan. Tapos
I'm,
you
I'm,
come
I'm
in,
not saying they
you
can't though,
parang ganun.
because I
Oh,
mean
I
it
mean,
happens naman. They
it
definitely
happens, definitely.
it's
Oh,
possible, yeah. I'm not saying you can't.
pero the
But
expectations, diba?
nauna yung expectations kaysa sa effort, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but yeah, that's the rant done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're
I
really,
think as coaches, James is relatively new. Pero I think it's very similar yung nagiging experience sa coaching. Parang with Filippo, because we've been coaching around the same length. Parang
yeah.
ganun. Nauna lang ako ng isang taon, I guess. But he's handled way more clients and athletes than me. I think same yung the mindset, my coaching mindset shifted then during my first 2 years. Then I've I've been always been pressured by my clients to make them hit PRs every block or two, to the point na umabot sa point na I couldn't talk to them realistically. Parang, okay, you're overshooting every block just to try and hit the PR, but it's actually stopping or parang putting a wrench into the process of actually building yourself to be a better athlete in the long run. You're not checking boxes like yung nutrition mo or yung sleep mo. You've been doing things the same way for the first 2 to 3 blocks natin. You've been PRing. But that same mindset isn't gonna work beyond those yung once you hit an actual plateau in your training. Parang may times na frustrating as a coach or frustrating maging coach when the athletes you've given parang they have an expectation na oh every other PR I need to total because I'm paying for a coach. Tapos the
Yeah, they
moment you
think they
stall,
think they're paying for progress.
yeah, yun yung
Uh,
I think that's a huge thing.
yeah.
Paying for progress. Pero let's face it, yung progress it's a it's one thing to expect a good program or like to grow your to grow yung to grow with your program and the program grows with you, something like that. Versus parang hindi ka na talaga you're just paying so you can add kilos or total guaranteed. It's not like that, di ba? It's yung
You're better
mindset na.
you're better off dropping your coach and using that money to buy like trend on Shopee or something. I don't know. If you want guaranteed progress,
Buying
right?
video games.
But, yeah.
Dude, ewan ko, parang there's a narrative before na if you have money, spend it on a coach, parang ganun, that's the first thing you should spend it on.
Yeah, yeah.
I would argue differently, parang based sa sinabi ni Filippo, actually, if you have money, spend it on freaking more protein or something, your nutrition. Spend it on a gym that's closer to you. Spend it. There's so much more you can spend it on before you can even think about getting a coach. Because if you're not, you can't even get your nutrition in. Tapos you're struggling to commute to and from your gym. Parang sasayangin mo lang yung pera mo if you can't guarantee that you'll do the things you need to do to make progress. Parang isa pa yun eh. Naging narrative yun kasi people were trying to sell shit online. Parang, oh, first thing you have to do, get a coach. Not really. Not really. There's so much free shit online these days. You can start by, finding a decent program, getting into a habit of training. Parang
I think,
coach,
and I think,
coach agad hinahanap nila eh.
to your point, before this whole online coaching thing blew up, everyone who got into powerlifting either did templates or were self-coached. Pero mostly templates, but in a way you're also self-coached. To
Yeah,
where you're kind of learning about the sport while you're researching the templates, or like you're doing your own research in a way. And you're learning more and you're more mature as a lifter. Whereas now it's like, I don't think it's bad to get a coach when you're new, because you
Oh.
definitely, if you're with a good coach, then it sets you up for success later on. But it's the lack of knowledge na rin siguro na they get a coach so early that they don't have this phase where they're like trying things and like learning things on their own.
I
So
mean,
like they're
oh,
very like not knowledgeable siguro about things, and then they're just like doing whatever the coach says, and to a certain degree that hurts the growth then of the lifter if the coach isn't able to teach the lifter. Um, but also if the lifter isn't willing to or like willing to do their own research and learn. Because you can only go so far like blindly following something without like understanding the yeah.
yeah, I'm sure what I'm saying is just you just kind of need to check some boxes before you even get the
Yeah,
coach.
yeah, yeah,
Parang
yeah.
ganun. I agree
I mean,
naman, agree.
when you get into lifting at the start, diba, ano bang sasabihin sa'yo? Eat
Yeah,
1 gram of
1 gram
protein
per
per
pound.
pound of body weight.
Wala na, super
Uh,
basic lang yun.
but parang ngayon, how much what percentage of powerlifters in the Philippines you think hit their protein?
Oh hell.
One
What do you
I
think?
percent.
would say I
Talaga,
would say
1%? Grabe naman.
hindi naman, hindi naman. I would say yung
Two
nasa
percent.
20%. 20%. I think
I feel like
that's a good
10%.
number.
I feel like
10% na sa'yo.
I feel like 10%. 10%, 90% are under those sa protein. Feeling ko.
Dude, with the
This
way
is this is something we
it's a
should like go to your gyms and like ask everyone like how much protein they eat. And if they don't
pwede, di ba?
know, then they're probably underdosing.
Definitely.
But you can have the argument of them overdosing.
No, it's part of the
No,
10%, bro.
it's too expensive to overdose in the Philippines. Unless magbaliwag ka na every day.
Hear me out. Hear me out. It's like probably might end this, but
I-
then maybe getting a coach is also like committing into a relationship. You see the parallel? It's like okay,
Yeah, I
you're
guess
gonna get
so.
a
I guess
coach
so.
and you're gonna feel like, oh, maybe this is not the right thing for me, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna stop and then go back into it. You know what I mean? I think it's just everyone here has a commitment issue. Yeah, I'm ended at that.
That that's I think feel like that's what I was saying earlier with like the instant gratification. It's like um I don't want to get into like a relationship type discussion, but
Yeah,
in a way, I guess so. Yeah.
It's a commitment, I guess. Not really a relationship, but yeah, it's a commitment. And like,
it's more
I
than
guess
just a sport or a
people,
game. Yeah,
you kind of have to commit to like the coach to your progress, essentially.
yeah.
Okay. It's been like two
Yeah,
hours. I feel
It's
like
like we're
yeah,
like
we
on the
over we
dot.
long
overshot,
enough.
I
We're
think.
Yeah,
on the dot
yeah.
2 hours. Yeah, it's 1 hour
We
and
overshot, I
So
think. You can
you
split this
wanna
episode, I think, because we kind of went into a tangent, into rants.
nah.
yeah.
People are gonna go into a commute for 2 hours and listen to this. Think about
Oh,
it.
really?
It's like your commute to work sa umaga.
Oh,
Sige.
2 hours.
It's our
But okay,
broken English
you
for that.
wanna close it off or like outro,
yeah.
James, or what do you wanna?
I mean, most PL podcasts they don't really do an outro. Just like okay,
I guess
Okay, it's a podcast.
follow
you know,
follow the Instagram if James wants to make an Instagram for the podcast.
you
Oh,
know,
Maybe he
really?
will, maybe he won't. Link in
uh,
bio, maybe. Who knows?
yeah, everything.
Um,
There's a YouTube channel. It's on my YouTube, but it's like the only video
yeah.
there too.
If anyone
Dude,
wants like a request of like topics, co-hosts, who to talk to,
Maybe
what to
Keiko.
talk about. That would
oh,
be cool.
really?
Yeah. You just gank Keiko in the meet and greet and like sit him down and do a
Come on,
podcast.
come on, Filippo, pull some strings. You know.
Nah.